Right. So let's understand the application system setup as well as the larger setup, right? You're familiar with the RFM system. We went through this in RF1, RF2. I hope by now you have a good understanding of what the basic system is, right? Now we're going to put in the gates, which help you start with scaling activities per se. Okay, so what happens at this stage? Okay, you are aware how traffics are generated, you're aware how leads are captured, and you're aware how the webinars convert into various lead capture activities and then into funnels eventually. Your emails play an important role in doing this, and then the sequence of events that happen after that also helps in creating and curating your funnels, right? So what is going on here, right? Let's see. So for a website, right, you typically would have used an optimized press, or you would have used other systems out there directly using WordPress as a system for operational activities to create a website or a landing pages. Or you would have used ClickFunnels or rather ConvertKit for making your other landing pages, right? But these are terms which are now you're familiar with. If you have not, you have to, right? Because as you by now realize, right, without that you cannot move ahead for blitzscaling activities. So your website and your landing pages require optimized press or a WordPress for creating one, or you create or use landing pages for your specific usage by using a ConvertKit or one of the other elements like a ClickFunnels also, or a GetResponse, etc. to use it. Optimized press has been used over here to showcase largely from your website perspective, because that will play an important role in culminating your traffic from various sources. However, for landing pages, I would suggest using ConvertKit, right? Swipe pages is one of the other ones that can be used when a social related sources are concerned, right? So that helps your purpose in creating the relevant landing pages as well, right? So take a look at that if not been done earlier. With that said, ConvertKit is best used for email sequencing, right? And that's why it's been put under the gamut of emails. The lead capture typically for funnelizing purposes is used through ClickFunnels and has been mentioned through. If not, that is the gate where you put it, okay, so that it becomes a bridge between the two. ClickFunnels also is used for the various 15, so to speak, funnel activities that were mentioned through, right, until it is monetized. Okay, for monetization, however, you use your respective landing pages and your payment gateways accordingly. Okay, but ClickFunnels becomes a genesis for putting the funnels in place. Same for webinar. Okay, you use ConvertKit for putting your landing pages and email sequences during the webinar proceedings, and you once that is getting tracked through, you put it into your ClickFunnels by creating the sales funnel that you put into place, and that can then eventually result into monetization. Okay, it's not lead capture moving into monetization directly, which was mentioned earlier, right? Why it was mentioned? Because we had to go through discrete steps of funnels to understand what funnel is first to monetize. Okay, so at that point of time your lead was your funnel itself. Okay, but after you start classifying it, will funnel make a difference to your funnelizing activities? Otherwise, your funnel, you will get lost in your funnels, right? Unless you want to keep your business small and keep it, tactful. But from a blitzscaling perspective, you need to know these things to get to that level. All right. So this RFM system now follows all this follows through to the BAAP system. Okay, because this was the activation part. So with that said, what we got to do now is get to the how we use the BAP system for proliferating. So the way to do this is as follows, right? So this was the activation form of the BAP system, right? But okay, I was just checking if I need to repeat the BAP system. So good, I don't have to. Right? The reason is because you are aware how the proliferation happens, because we went through the blitzscaling in the beginning, right? Therefore, to that chapter again, if you have to, so that the lecture stays in your mind. It was done probably in the first day of introduction, where the blitzscaling basics were given. right? Now we get into very specific inputs. So I don't want to bring it again and confuse you further. So you can refer to it in case you have to. But however, how the funnels are working should get refreshed now. Okay. So when you're putting such systems in place from RFM, where you're putting the gates in place, where you are now classifying funnels and putting them in the relevant spaces, the key funnel related concepts remain the same. Okay? And for that, in case you have to refer to, you please go back to your funnel related lectures, so that will help your purpose. But reiterating it here, the concepts, the stages, and the blueprint remain the same. Okay, so in the concepts, you have the pre-framing stage in the funnel, you have the conversion stage, and then you have the community. So in the pre-framing stage, you have the videos, you have the respective posts that you give, right, the blogs, etc., or a vlog or one of those, and that pre-framing then gets you to the conversion point where people move in, where you give the hook, you show the product, and then you provide the offer, right? So similar activities now you can relate to the funnels that were talked about, right? Which best fits into which funnel based on your business activity or your marketing activities or your webinar activities and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's where the conversion. Okay, and then your funnel comes into existence. Then once it gets into a community, your FB group and your private group and your Telegram group, etc., that formulates another sort of funnel which you can classify in the 15 that we talked about earlier, right? So I hope now you're getting to understand that these details mentioned earlier, right? They were mentioned because of a cause, so that now you relate to it what is actually now hitting the brass tacks. Okay. With that said, so you formulate a private group, a Telegram group, etc., right? The next, after your conceptual activities are done, then you move into different stage, which is the webinar related activity where you give a conceptual course, for example, right, as your tripwire. So lead magnet, tripwire, core product come into existence at this stage, right? Then you move them to a profit maximizer. So you use this stage to again classify amongst the various funnels that we talked about, based on whatever lead you are able to capture and at what stage you've been able to capture. Okay, and then the final blueprint, right? You use the BAP system for automating all these activities, which is being just suggested through this now, right? So the whole RFM system, which automates your funneling system also, post your webinar, your email, your landing pages, which now have the pixels or they have the code from which are joining and integrating either the click funnel or the click magic or the convert kit into all these various moving parts, and then get integrated into a particular funnel as an outcome of the lead capture, and then it gets into your respective hub for control mechanisms and governance, basically for analyzing what's going wrong and what can be tweaked, until they're used for the larger system, that is retargeting and putting them again into play for the people who are remaining behind, or with new products that come into play, how you use the current ones again to start formulating that activity through. Okay, so with that, I hope you understand where we went with the entire funnel process, right? Now let's go to challenge. Okay, so this is very important for you to do if you have to really get into your blitzscaling mode. Okay, so challenge 1. There's a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and step 6. Okay, define and design the business funnel, right? Put a curriculum in place in case you're putting a digital asset in form of a courseware online, right? As I told you, this could be one of the main functions that exists in the digital asset gamut of things, right? And then put a pricing. Okay, that's the first thing. Then put the second one, which is you put a strategy and gamification funnel and put the milestones and rewards in place for that. Alright? Same goes for capture page for your the setup funnel pages for capture page and your thank you page. Okay, and then put them as a part of sequencing of events. Step 4 is define and design the lead magnets for webinar and your ebooks. Step 5, influence the influence building, which is your YouTube and your podcast. And then step 6, start selling. That is webinars and one-to. So if you see, that is how the steps are laid out in form of a challenge, which you can start putting into execution mode. And I repeat, step 1 being you design your digital asset and put the prices in place as per the RISE 1 formulas that we taught, which led into the RISE 2 with the details we gave. Okay? Some of the details were given during the scaling activity itself. Okay, just to formulate and confirm on things from the previous times so that you relate it to. Step 2, the define and strategize the gamification funnel. This is putting your membership details in place, right? And then you put your milestones for these things, and then you put the rewards for these things, right? Milestones, for people if you're getting confused here, is milestones is all about what people would have achieved in achieving the level of digital asset that you want them to consume, right, at that point in time, and then you reward them. So that is the milestone, right? So many days A should be able to go to a point B, right? So, and then you reward them. Reward them. Reward would mean, right, giving them a certificate or invite to the inner circle or a hackathon or next club or something like that. Then set up the funnel pages. This would mean the capture page and the thank you page, right? A funnel is for the digital asset and the niche that you're covering. Put it in use from the 12 or 15 funnels that we talked about. Okay, this is that. Then we define and design the lead magnet. We discussed this several times, right? It could be a live webinar, it could be a recorded webinar, it could be an ebook, it could be courses, or a seminar, a course before the pre-course as we discussed, like a tripwire, and so on and so forth, right? And or a quiz. We discussed the quiz, we discussed the seminar, and various other factors. This is that. Okay, choose what you want to do. Webinar works best because it is simple to do and produce. Step 5, influence building, where you create YouTube and your podcast, right? Um, this will also help in. So this will also result in you even thinking of targeting the influencer part of the world, right? But from your singular perspective, your onus should be on influence building using YouTube and podcast with various elements that we talked about earlier. Okay. With that, your stage 6 will be all about start selling, right? Live webinars, live seminars, one-to-one coaching, one-to-many coaching, whatever goes there. Whatever you have chosen as part of your business plan, after all this clarity, you should now be able to segregate and get things into place, okay? On the right hand side, there are some details as a reference given again, right? How pre-framing you use videos and whatever blogs and posts, etc. So that you look at them and start building your challenge elements here. Okay, this is a very important challenge, guys. So please follow this through. Okay, use your funnel creation. In case you have to revisit and go through the lectures again, please do that, right? Because without this, blitzscaling will not happen. Okay, so let's be very clear. If you realize by now what blitzscaling is, right? Various channels working together in a very automated format, so that you don't miss out a single lead. Hence the salient features and hence the 10 commandments for traffic and its purpose, right? It's coming to culmination now. Okay, so once you do all this, right, you will then you will be ready by slowly and steadily moving into blitzscale, right? And if you have the right resources, you can move now. Okay, that's the purpose. Now, with this, it brings to the end to blitzscaling and what goes into it, and you now understood the larger systems that go. So use BARB, use RFM, use the various automated applications that are mentioned, and the various platforms to do this. Okay, you have references in the YouTube's, not the YouTube, but the videos that are given to understand structurally or culturally as a reference point how you can go about setting up your systems, right? And with that said, we are ready to move to the next level by knowing the next steps that you have, right? I will meet you there, assuming you've done this challenge, right? This challenge is very important for you to do. Okay, so So I'll see you there.